Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to NTU's Virtual Open House 2021. You are currently watching the live sharing brought to you by the Division of Mathematical Sciences. My name is Ian. I'm a Year 2 student studying Mathematical Sciences. Joining me today is my friend Dion, specializing in Business Analytics. We are both from the SPMS Ambassadors Program, and we are proud to be your MCs for this segment. I hope you've already built some chemistry with my friend Crystal from CBC. No? Okay, that had no reaction. In the next hour, you'll be hearing from me and my beloved professors and about our lives in SPMS and what the Division of Mathematical Sciences has to offer. If you have any questions, do ask away on our Telegram channel at NTU SPMS. So to start off, I would like to invite our first speaker for today. I remember the lecture he gave us in year 1 about induction and funny-looking blue horses. That was one I would never forget. He is none other than the Assistant Chair and Deputy Head of Academic for MAS, Associate Professor Ng Keng Meng.
Hello. Hi. A very good afternoon and a very warm welcome to the NTU Open House. I'm very excited to see all of you here, and I want to thank you for coming for this talk and for your interest in finding out about our mathematics program. So my name is Keng Meng, and today I'll be sharing with you the affairs about our degree and more about our how mathematics can be applied. So in the first part of my talk, I will first be covering several reasons why you should be studying mathematics. And then in the middle part, I will be talking about our degree program. I think for those of you who have been to our website, you may have some information about this already. And then in the last part, I'll conclude with some employment data. Okay, so let's start. So before I start, just a reminder, if you have any questions, just type them in the live chat in this session, or we also have a Telegram chat group which you can join, as Ian has pointed out. So, okay, what are the reasons that we might want to study mathematics? I think maybe some of us have the preconception that if you study mathematics at university, then you will have to, your career choices are limited, and maybe you will have to end up being a teacher or in the education sector. Now, this is not definitely not true. There are actually, mathematics is because it's a very diverse subject, and there are actually many reasons that we can give for studying mathematics. So part of the reason is, maybe one of the most important reasons is that you can learn how to solve, develop problem-solving skills. So if you look at these few characteristics, pattern spotting, working backwards, visualizing, working systematically, and logical reasoning, these are actually some of the tasks and skills that we normally would associate with, solving a math problem. But actually, if you think about it, these are actually lifelong transferable skills that are actually very important, especially when you are looking for work. These employers actually value these transferable skills in all sectors. So, for example, in pattern spotting, you can look at a problem like this. Maybe it belongs more to like I don't know, like an Olympiad question or something. But if you join us in mathematics, you will learn our curriculum is actually developed to train you on these kinds of skills. And of course, you can imagine that in your work when you are doing analysis is very important skill to have. Things like working backwards, for example. I think if you have taken mathematics before at high school, pre-university, this is also a skill which is actually important. Again, this process of working backwards and reverse engineering is of course a very important skill to have. Especially if you are working. Things like visualizing, of course, is a very key area, part of mathematics in NTU, whereby you will learn, how to transfer between the abstract and the tangible, and it basically helps to train your brain, and of course, it is of course also very important. Okay, working systematically, of course, this is, you cannot solve a complex problem if you are very disorganized in your thoughts. and your thinking processes. So, if you study mathematics, the curriculum actually will force you to and train you to, to develop a system of work so that you can get to the solution. And this is also very, 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 very important. And of course, the most important skill in mathematics is that of logical reasoning. So if you study mathematics, you will learn things like how to prove abstract theorems. And these are all just part of a mental exercise to train you to develop a very systematic and logical frame of mind so that you can contribute in the future. So yeah, so these skills, even though, are more associated with academic, but actually, developing these skills are very important. Other reasons, for example, you can have, you can think of it as a training for the brain. Mathematics is all about forming connections between different areas of math and between different, if you're taking the same course, you may need to form connections between different chapters, different parts of the same course in order to solve problems. So you need to assemble different tools, form different connections, different methods. And this is obviously something which employers value very much: logical thinking, creative, analytical skills. Of course, we cannot avoid away from these transferable skills. This is all part of the general education in NTU, whereby you will learn things like organization, communications. It's all part of higher tertiary education. This is obviously very important. One thing which I do want to point out is that of computing skills. In NTU, especially if you come to mathematics, we focus quite a bit on digital literacy. So there will be several compulsory programming courses for you that you have to take. So I'll say a little bit about this in a later part of the talk. And also studying mathematics helps us with almost every career, because mathematics is a universal language, and it is used in almost every area of work. So things like sciences, finance, business, manufacturing, logistics, and so on and so forth. So almost every career, every work that you do will require some form of analysis, and mathematics is definitely a key part of that. So that brings me to the range of professional fields that you can expect to open up to you if you are having a math degree. So if you're good in math, you can think of having working in these kinds of fields. So as you can see, the education sector is just a small part. There's a lot of sectors which actually hire our math graduates. So this includes the finance sector, investment, and so on. The insurance sector, of course, because of actuary and risk management, they actually require a lot of math. Things like statistical analysts, like government reporting, a lot of these government agencies and stat board will require mathematical skills. Supply chain logistics. So with the recent surge in this online shopping, food delivery, and all this going online, so this management of logistics and supply chain becomes very important. And of course, you can also work in the IT or computing-based jobs, such as programming, machine learning, being a data scientist. In fact, data scientist is one of the top jobs in 2019 and 2020. So that's also will open up to you. Related, IT work such as cybersecurity, internet defense, all these are all will open up because of the government initiative in this Smart Nation. And of course, some of our students also, because they're passionate about teaching, like us, they will also choose to join the education sector. So that is still also available to you. And a small proportion of our top students also go for further studies, masters and PhD. Okay, so so there's a whole range of career available to you if you think about it. Now, so as of yesterday, when you just search for mathematics in, for example, JobStreet, it brings up like 1,000 over jobs. So companies which are looking to hire include things like SingHealth, DBS, OCBC. So these are all. So I'm not making things up. These are all jobs that are being listed with the tag of mathematics. So at the end of my talk, I will tell you more about this graduate employment survey that have come out and where our recent graduates have got jobs in. Okay, so mathematics is not an obscure degree in which you may complete the degree and then have trouble looking for jobs or working something related. Actually, there are actually many well-known and successful business people who have actually started with a mathematics degree and worked their way from there. So these include our PM, who's also a mathematician, and people like co-founders of Google, CEOs of Netflix, and so on. On the bottom, you see Eric Yuan, who is the CEO of Zoom. Of course, Zoom suddenly grew overnight because of these things moving online. So he was also had a math degree. Okay, so I hope I've convinced you, or at least given you some indication of how mathematics can be useful to you in your career, and maybe busted some myths. So next, I want to address, at least answer, the question of why you should study mathematics with us at NTU. Now, we understand that you have a choice, and in fact, we are one of the 2 universities in Singapore with a dedicated math program. But some of the reasons why you should consider NTU is, I think the top reason is that NTU Mathematics, or Mathematics NTU, has got actually a wide variety of combinations and different specializations that you can choose from. So I will be covering that in the next few slides of my talk. I will be telling you more about the different combinations that you can have. And also, NTU is actually committed to develop curriculum that with a special focus in preparing students for the workforce, and also to be digitally ready. So I've mentioned this before. In our curriculum, we want to actually get our students to be ready for the workforce, and part of that we think is an important skill is to have some basic digital knowledge, so such as programming. So there will be 3 compulsory programming courses that forms part of a mathematics curriculum. But don't worry if you have no programming knowledge. We will actually start from scratch, from zero knowledge, and slowly get you ready. Also in our 3rd and 4th year electives, there will be also a lot of chances for you to use programming and statistical software to actually analyze data. Okay, so that's also part of our commitment. And the 3rd reason is we have long-standing relationships with industrial partners. So long before it was fashionable for a science degree to have internship programs, NTU has already started building up relationships with industrial partners, because NTU is used to be a technological university, so we had strong connections with and providing strong career building and internship programs. So these are some of the I think attractive reasons for choosing NTU. Okay. So I want to go on to discussing, at least give you an overview of our programs that we offer. So I think you can find more details on this on our website, and also if you have more specific questions on this, you can feel free to ask them in the chat or in the Telegram group. But for now, I just want to give you like a rough overview so that you can know more about it. So we offer 2 kinds of programs. We have the single major program and the double major program. In our single major program, we have the basic degree, which is our single major Bachelor of Science with honors in mathematical sciences, and there's an option to top up with a minor in finance. And for the double major, we offer 3 double majors program, whereby you can combine math with econs, math with computer science, or math with physics. We also have 2 programs that we are running, where we are in a partnership with another school. For the data science and AI program, is a partner with the School of Computer Science and Computer Engineering. And there's this new economics and data science program, which is run jointly with the Division of Econs and Computer Science. So let me just quickly talk about the single major program. So for the single major program, we have the basic program as well as the option to top up with a minor in finance. Now the minor in finance is simply an add-on that you can make to the basic degree, where you can where you have to take roughly about 5 courses from the business school. This is the minor in finance is actually specially offered to SPMS students. So this is actually one of the only ways you can get the minor in finance. But in either of these programs, the rough schedule is in the first 2 years you will be taking common math courses in the first 2 years, and basically after your first year you will have to choose from one of the tracks. So this is actually the highlight of the single major program. You have a choice of a specialization, so you can pick from one of the 4 areas or 4 tracks of specializations: the applied math track, the statistics track, the business analytics track, and the pure math track. So I'll be speaking more about this on the next slide. And then what's the point of picking a tracks? Well, then in your 3rd and 4th year, you will be taking the elective courses based on your selected track, the track that you selected. And of course, and also in your 3rd and 4th year, there will be many other exciting, things that you can engage yourself in, such as, internship, overseas exchange, final year projects, research projects, and lots more, which you can also find out if you're interested. Okay, so talking more about the tracks for the single major program. So here, these are the 4 tracks and some more information about them. For the applied math track, it's basically a specialization where you learn about using mathematical tools and numerical methods and models to solve real-world problems. So that's the basic, that's the special focus of this track. For the stats track, of course, I think many of you would have some experience with statistics in pre-U courses. So basically, statistics is all about the analysis, interpretation, presentation, and cleaning out of data. So you have to read data and maybe extract useful information from them. For the business analytic track, basically it is one of the exciting new areas which is actually has come out recently. Basically, business analytics is about using statistical and computing methods, basically mathematical tools, to help to analyze data with a special focus on helping businesses, giving insights to businesses, and helping them in their planning and their and how to move businesses forward. So topics will include things like programming and some business operations and management. Okay, and last track for those of you who are more interested in a little bit of learning more about the theoretical aspects of mathematics and abstract mathematics. There is also this option that's available to you, the pure math track, and there you will learn more about how mathematics works in theory. Okay, so that's for our single major program. So I'll just quickly talk about the double major program. So we have 3 double majors: the double major in math, econs, computer science, and physics. So basically, a double major. In each of the double major, how it works is that you will basically be taking a roughly equal proportion of math courses together with courses from the other major, and the proportion is roughly 70 to 80% of a math major courses, and also 70 or 80% of the second major. So, and also for the math and econs, this is run jointly with the division of econs, and there it's more suitable for students who want to combine mathematical skills and tools together with a special focus on economic decisions and looking at financial market and so on and so forth. For the math, double major in math and computer science, this is run jointly with the School of Computer Science and Engineering. And this is actually a very popular program. And this is especially for students who are interested in working on the interactions and the boundaries and interface of the 2 disciplines of computing and mathematics. So you'll be trained to meet challenges and to solve problems which require both strong computing and strong mathematical skills. In this double major in math and CS, you will be able to pick from the specializations of theoretical computer science, cybersecurity, financial modeling, or data science. So one of these 4, or in fact, you can take more than one area of specializations which are available to you. And lastly, we have the double major in physics and math, whereby it's jointly run with the Division of Physics. And here is for students who want to use computing skills to analyze the natural world. Okay, so I hope this gives you some overview of our programs. So again, if you would like to know more, if you have any questions, just type them in the chat or ask us in the Telegram group. So I'll be talking about, in the last part of my talk, I'll be talking about some opportunities for enrichment, and then sharing with you some of the companies that our students have gone to. So one of the programs is the co-op program. So the co-op program is basically an add-on you can make to the single major. So this is only available to the single major program, and it's not available to double majors because of the scheduling. And basically, in a typical program, you will have to do an internship of about 10 to 20 weeks. But for the co-op program, it allows you to work and study at the same time. So there will be roughly around 50 weeks in total that you spend at the company. And instead of one internship term, it will be spread over 3 internship terms. So of course, the benefit is to have an early exposure to work and internship training, and also to give you a better career start. So if you're interested in this, the application is actually after you have been matriculated to NTU. Okay. So there are many other graduate research opportunities, such as the independent study, the research experience Eureka, and Odyssey. So these are all additional research activities that you can take part in as part of your the Wholesome program at NTU. So just an example of what goes on here. For example, in the Odyssey research program, this is actually a program that's run by the School of Physical and Mathematical Sciences, whereby students from chemistry, physics, and math will take part. And so there's actually a lot of interactions between students from different areas. So this is actually a multidisciplinary endeavor at research, and and so this program actually also holds talks and so on. Okay, so lastly, I think this is maybe what many of us are also concerned with. So the data that I have on the slides are from the survey of this employment of graduates from 2019. The most recent survey, 2020, was just out, so I don't have it on the slide, but the figures are roughly the same. So the employment from 2019 was 90. So we have a 91% overall employment rate, and if you look at the full-time employment rate, it is a little bit lower, 79%. The salary range for a math degree, this is the data from just the basic single major math degree. The median salary is about 3,005 something, and the gross is 3,006. So in 2020, in the COVID year, the salary was actually around 3,006 also. So despite the this situation with the pandemic, the salary didn't actually go down in 2020. So that's actually shows the robustness of our program. So about 50% of students receive one job offer, and about slightly more than half of students receive multiple job offers after graduation. Slightly more than 10% of students have a job offer at least 6 months before graduation, and this, of course, is largely due to the fact of our internship programs. During internship programs, sometimes the company that you are interning at may work out something with you. So that's how people get job offers way before graduation, and at least and the rest figures about. So at least 90% of students do have a job offer within 1 to 2 months after graduation. Okay, and the last thing I want to share with you is the employment of our graduates. So the sectors that employs our graduates, the top 5 sectors in 2019 are information and communication, public admin and defense, and so on. And as you can see, finance and insurance also is a large is a sector that employs a lot of our graduates. Education, including teachers and MOE HQ, forms only the number 4. And so on. So, so these are the more popular jobs that our students have gone into. Okay, so that's the end of my talk. Thank you.
Thank you, Prof. Ng, for the insightful sharing. A reason why I love SPMS so much is because we are blessed with very dedicated prof like Prof. Ng. Do feel free to leave any of your questions in the chat if you have any. You can also check out our SPMS tours available for limited sign-ups on our open house website to know more about our profs. And please follow our Telegram at NTU_math with an S at the back. Next up, my co-MC Ian from the MES cohort will share more about his student experience in SPMS. I don't really know Ian, but after working with him, I realized he has very good work ethics and is always open to helping the people around him. So everyone, let's give him a virtual heart emoji to welcome him.
Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for hearing and joining us for the MES student experience. So I'll just share a bit more about myself. I'm a year 2 student studying math and I'm doing pure math as a specialization. And also, I'm actually under the SPMS Ambassadors program. So I'm actually an assistant director under the internal welfare. Thank you. Here, okay, there we go. So I'm also currently working as a part-time upper secondary math tutor on my own. So I guess you can consider doing part-time as well while you're studying. So when you come into NTU SPMS, you would be joining us for 2 camps. So on the screen here is one of the photos that we've taken. Yeah, this is from a Supremes camp. The other camp is called O Week. And these are the friends that I forged over the last 2 years of my study. And they helped me to, we've come together to have lunch, consolidate questions. Yeah, and this is after the finale. So if you're joining us for SPMS NTU SPMS, yeah, you can join us for the SPMS Ambassadors program. This is a new program that is offered to us SPMS students, where we will be helping out with the external departments, I would say, yeah, and having out with open houses, tea parties, welcome ceremonies. So yeah, feel free to join us. Yeah, this is one of the events that we've made. This is the Christmas event. And this is one of the games that I've actually hosted. Okay, I guess you guys want to hear like why I chose math in the first place. Like, come on, why math? So do you remember last time when you were trying to sleep and you would ask your parents, how do I sleep faster? Then you would say, okay, one way is to count sheep, right? Count the sheep over the fence until you fall asleep. Then you're asking, why do I need to count sheep? Where does the sheep end? The sheep like stop jumping over. And then you're given this O-level formula sheet, and then you don't understand why all these formulas came about. Why is it even on paper? Why must I learn all this? Where do I get this from? And then you're handed a Rubik's Cube, and you are wondering also whether there are any symmetries or rotations of the cube that play any significant impact to like mathematics, or how can I use math to solve this? Okay, so one of the reasons why I joined math, because basically with math you can do everything. So with math you can use math for natural sciences as well. So like physics, chemistry, biology. You use differential equations, calculus. Yep, here so we have a natural sciences, engineering. So if you are interested in engineering and math also, you can just take up math, might as well take up math and then do because there's also like mechanical, aerospace, etc. They also use math, obviously. But actually, do you know that even in like the business or the finance department, math is also used to calculate the max profit, minimum cost, or the operations research, even the financial management, yeah. And then lastly, we have humanities also, because math is really involved in art, music, philosophy. So examples would be the golden ratio, music theory, like if you're counting beats for a song. So next, I want to share a bit why math is pretty much the best major that you can take. Firstly, it's extremely versatile, like I said earlier, and what Prof. Ng has also mentioned. You can do everything, or go almost everywhere, do whatever you want, whatever your side interests are. You can branch out into so many other departments. To me, I think math is more than just that. Math is like a language, an art, and a science. It's something that you want to discover and want to learn about it. Because they say if you learn it, you learn everything. And in fact, there are some like the Millennium Prize problems that if you solve it, you get like 1 million USD. So you can try. And math is also good because it helps you to train your mind and think more analytically and logically, which is what we all want, right? What employers want. So next, I have what Prof. Ng has mentioned, the track selections. Just coming from a student's perspective, I believe that you could have 1 whole year to decide which track you want to go. And after year 1, you can choose any of these 4. So not to worry about whether you're uncertain. And also, I like to say that NTU has really granted us like the opportunity to do coding modules like Python and R, which actually add on to my resume, and I've learned much more outside what I'm supposed to learn. So which one to choose? Well, I believe that if you want to choose just go with your interest. I would say just go with whatever you feel like you're most comfortable doing. For me, I chose pure math because I really like the theoretical aspect of it and the logical thinking. So if you are more interested in applying math into the real world, into biology, into chemistry, you could just choose applied math. Or if you want to do statistics, you like to look at numbers, then statistics. Or business analytics if you want to know about how businesses operate, how they run. Okay, so I think next is just another slide of career opportunities that you can take. These are from past surveys, past statistics. So as you can see, the numbers are fairly similar to what Prof. Ng has shared. And of course, the industry sectors and job occupations. I can't stress enough that math is super versatile. You can do everything. So most of the seniors that I've known, they're actually doing mathematicians. Even one of my friends, he's doing under LTA, one of these internships there. Yep, and this is another nice picture which shows all the companies who have employed our alumni. So there are many companies around government sectors, banking sectors, or even like private sectors. So I'd like to end off with this quote by Neil deGrasse Tyson. I think this quote has really inspired me to become a mathematician. So it says, math is the language of the universe. The more equations you know, the more you can converse with the cosmos. Basically means that if you want to go to Mars or go to outer space, you just learn math because it is applied everywhere. So lastly, if you want to ask me questions or ask any of us questions, you can head over to the Telegram channel at NTU Maths, MATHS, or visit our Instagram and Facebook page at NTU SPMS, or you could just email us if you like. And I believe that's all the time we have for my segment. Thank you.
Thank you, Ian, for sharing your experience so that we have a glimpse of what we can look forward to. Next up is my favorite segment. We're gonna learn SPMS dance. Haha, kidding. We're just gonna do some stretches before we move on. Let's do some mouth stretches. 1, 2, 3, smile. Ooh, and let's do some sine curves. And we can also type our questions in the chat. Yeah, okay. You can also check out our SPMS tours available for limited sign-ups on our open house website too. You might be wondering, what do I learn in math, or what can I do with a math degree? Don't worry if you have any questions because it is time for Q&A. It is my pleasure to invite these 3 professors who will be answering some of your questions and share about their teaching and research experience. Here with us today are Associate Professor Andrew James Creaker, Associate Professor Chan Song Heng, the Head of Division, Associate Professor Ng Keng Ming, the Deputy Head, Let's give a warm round of applause to welcome our profs on screen.
Okay, so looking from the Slido, we have a first question coming from someone. How different is JC H2 math compared to university level math? Any prof would like to answer this?
Yeah, so maybe I can answer that. So JCH2 math compared to university level math. So obviously there is going to be quite a lot of difference. In fact, a lot of our students, maybe later, Ian or Dion can say more about this. Some students, a good number of them express some surprise at how different university level math is compared to JC math. JC math is, of course, more focused with, working out problems in the correct way and presenting in the correct manner. But university level math, I think, can be best described as more focused on understanding, how things work. But having said that, our curriculum is still designed so that it is going to be staying relevant and to the real world. So we won't deviate too much from that. But I would say that the main difference, apart from the difference in the difficulty, will just be just mindset of having to that you have to change to that you have to try to understand the materials more. Dion or Ian, do you agree?
Yeah, so maybe I'll just like to add on to what Prof. Ng has shared. Actually, I took JC H2 math, and I was from JC. So I would say that if you are taking A levels, the subjects that you do is wider, but it's not much depth. If you know what I mean, it's like it just touch and go like different topics. But then if you're coming for NTU math, they will be more focused on each of the topics. So let's say you have calculus in JC, right? But then they just tell you the formulas are like that, and they don't explain why it happened. But then if you come to uni, you understand why these formulas work and why they make sense. And I think this is really crucial in understanding why math works. So I'd say there's more rigorous to it. And as well, you're kind of taking like 2 A levels in like one sem, because you have each year there are 2 semesters, and then each semester you can choose what kind of math you're doing. Because instead of like, let's say, if you're taking like A levels, if you're just taking A levels and just got your results, you're kind of like taking like chemistry, physics, bio, or math even, math econs, yeah. But then if you're taking NTU math, you're just taking math. So my friends ask me like, what subjects are you doing? I just say I'm doing math, because every of my subjects are math. But just the different kinds of math, if you know what I mean, yeah. So just choose whichever topics that you're interested in, and then we'll go right deep into the core concepts of math.
Okay, we have another question. Is it preferable to do a double major or a single major plus a minor? Prof. Chan, do you want to go?
I'll just take this one. So, I would say whether you do a single major or a double major or single major plus a minor, a lot depends on your interest. You do a double major so a double major means that weighting of the degree consists of 2 parts, one from a first major and one from another major, and they are equal weightage. So perhaps if you have interest in both majors, for example, you have interest in both physics and mathematics, or you have interest in both mathematics and economics, then yes, it's preferable that you do a double major. But on the other hand, if you know for yourself you are you may or you may not, you have not been like the brightest students in your cohort, and you feel you might struggle because the double major program might be more demanding, but you still have strong interest in mathematics and some interest in another topic, then maybe you want to consider doing a single major plus a minor.
Next up, we have a question. I'm from science course in Polytechnic, and I meet the prerequisite to enter NTU Maths. But will it be difficult for me to integrate or do well in this course? I mean, you can integrate, with calculus. Anyone, Prof, like to answer this?
Yeah. Okay. So, so we do understand that if you are from polytechnic, your training is different than those that come from the A levels, because in A levels they do 2 solid years of mathematics. Okay, some of them even had more than just H2. Some of them had maybe H3 mathematics, or they've done more. Whereas in a typical polytechnic diploma, you might have some of you might have done quite a lot of mathematics too, because some of the engineering diplomas in polytechnics do make you take quite a few courses in mathematics, but not all. Okay, so for example, in some of the science courses in polytechnics may have exposed you to about 2 courses, and that's it. So what we do is we understand that there is a possibility that some of the graduates from polytechnic may eventually struggle in a math degree program. So we are very careful when we do admission for polytechnic applicants. So in addition to just looking at your diploma, the GPAs, CGPAs, we also actually do an admission test. So because we want to make sure that you are not only good in your courses, you have not only just done well, but you have a certain flair, you have interest in mathematics, which is very important, because if you have been interested in mathematics, you most likely will be able to with that passion, you most likely will be able to do well in our course. Okay, so the admission test that we do doesn't test very deep things, but basically it does test you a little bit about some thinking, mostly O levels subject, but more of the thinking type of question than routine questions like applying formulas that you have done. So these are actually traits that we will need. So you need to be able to think when you do university mathematics. So just blindly applying formulas without knowing why you apply formulas will not get you far. So if you are admitted, then I think if you pass our admission test, I think there's a good chance that you should have no problem integrating and doing well in our course.
Yeah.
Can I just add something to Prof Chan there? So actually, some of our most successful graduates have come through polytechnics. So I can think of a few examples immediately of some students who have gone on to study PhDs. Some of our current PhD students came from the polytechnic route. And I can think of one of our very early polytechnic students who ended up working in one of Singapore's biggest hedge funds. So I think the evidence is that coming through the polytechnic route doesn't necessarily mean that you're not going to end up with the same opportunities at the end. So that's what I went to add.
Ooh, next question. Will I be able to take the second major from year 2, or is it a must to enter during the admission?
Okay, so for the second major, we actually don't have a second major. I guess you mean our double major program. So the double major program, you actually have to apply for it upon admission, unfortunately. And the reason for this is because the double major program, because of the fact that you have to take courses from both our SPMS and as well as from a second major, the timetable and the scheduling is all different from a single major. So you actually, from as early as your first semester, you actually have to start taking these other courses. So that's why we require this admission. You have to actually declare this upon admission. Now, it is possible that you are admitted to a double major program, and somewhere along the line you take all these additional courses, and eventually you find that you are not suitable maybe for the double major program. Then actually you can apply to convert to a single major, but usually not the other way around. As for a minor, a minor you don't actually have to declare upon admission. You can actually just declare it anytime during your course. And the reason is because a minor usually consists of elective modules from the minor program, so you can actually take it anytime you want. Yeah. So.
Okay, next question. What are the career prospects if I choose to major in pure math or applied math?
Okay, so for pure and applied math, actually, these employers that we have shown you during the talk applies to any track that to all tracks. The only difference between the different tracks is just that when you declare your track, you actually have to take more electives modules from that track. But this doesn't prevent you from taking the elective modules from the other tracks. So there's different categories of courses where you have to take, and you can actually, then there's the category called broadening and deepening electives. So you can actually use these free elective courses to take these math courses from other tracks. So just because you chose pure math or applied math doesn't mean that you only take courses from there. So it's all up to you how you want to plan and design your program. And so so when you apply for a job, it is up to you how you want to leverage on this and sell yourself to your employer. So it's up to you. But the career prospects, I would say, are all the same with whichever track you apply to. And ultimately, it's up to you, right? How you perform in the interview. This gives you our program, of course, tries to prepare you and give you the best head start. Yeah.
Ooh, next question. What are some research projects that the profs are working on right now? What are you guys working on, profs?
I guess I'll start. So I'm a pure mathematician. I think we're all pure mathematicians actually here by accident. So my field is what's called topology. So topology is a very abstract study of the possible shapes of things, such as the universe. You might ask, what is the shape of the universe? So I study topology and I study some connections with geometry, and in particular I study the connections between these disciplines and ideas coming from theoretical physics. So that's what I'm working on. So.
Yeah, I'm also a pure mathematician. I'm a number theorist, so I work on problems related to the partition function, which actually counts like the number of ways a natural number can be written as a sum of non-decreasing sequence of positive integers. So maybe I should answer a bit more about. Maybe this question is actually directed to what are the research that the professors in our division work on. So basically, we are pretty well represented in all four tracks of the mathematical sciences. We have a big group of pure mathematicians. We have a good group of applied mathematicians, some statisticians, and also some mathematical scientists too. So for our pure mathematicians, we do cover logician, which Prof. Ng is. We have number theories, we have algebraic combinatories, we have topologies, we have geometers. They are joining us one joining us in March this year, and we have another professor that will be joining us January next year. We have people working in algebra. For our applied mathematics, we have a big group working in PDE, so things related to computations. So we have a large group in coding and cryptography, in fact one of the strongest groups in the world. Our provost, Professor Ling San, okay, probably you might have heard of his name. So he's also a coding and cryptographist. So we have a few statisticians. We have financial mathematicians, and we also have operation research scientist. I don't know. King Ming, you want to continue with a bit about what you work on?
Yeah, I work in mathematical logic, which is basically the study of foundations of mathematics, and so the main goal of mathematical logic is just to attempt to build a strong theoretical foundation for the rest of mathematics, basically showing how that arguing that mathematics can be performed in the so-called correct way. Yeah, so anyway, if you are interested, I can of course talk to you more about this.
Thank you, Prof, for letting us know what you do. So next question. Must we really score straight A's for A levels to enter double major?
I'll take this one. Different double majors have different cutoffs. They have different admission criteria. So I would say not all double majors require straight A's. It depends. This is like a supply and demand problem. So we want to have a good size for the double major programs, but at the same time we want to have a good quality too. So a lot depends on your interest, which double major you are in. So a lot depends on what are your interest and then what you apply for. I would say you certainly should not be, if your grades are not perfect, you shouldn't be like putting all your choices as double majors. You should have maybe some of the lower choices should be a single major. Okay, I think you should also refer to like the previous year indicative grade profiles. Although it may change year to year, but it gives some rough idea of what this year's cutoffs might be. Yeah, so maybe I just add a bit more. So for our double major programs, so we have a double major in physics and mathematical sciences, and then we have a double major in mathematics and economics. I would say the double major for mathematics and computer science probably will be higher than them, since the trend now is computer science is getting quite popular, right? And so we also get this leap in popularity. Okay.
Thank you, Prof. Well, this person wants to know if the profs could share more about the aptitude test which will be given to the mathematical science applicants, and how will it be conducted?
Yeah, so the plan now is we will give another math admission test. So if you are one who hasn't say done particularly well for your A levels, but you're good in math, so let's say the overall grades that you have for your A levels or your polytechnic CGPA is not that great, but you think you are very good in mathematics and you believe you have an aptitude to do well in our math degree, so you come and sit for a test. Yeah, so we have at the moment we have no plans to have an interview conducted for the ABA admission.
Okay, thank you, Prof. So next question. Will there be a challenge for science students, specifically a biological student, to study a math degree?
So again, I think this question is similar to a previous question whereby there was a question about sharing the concerns of how if a polytechnic student could manage. So our program actually, again, during admissions, we have certain criterion. So like if you're from A level, you need to have a good pass in H2 math and so on and so forth. So I mean, assuming you meet all these criterion, these are the minimum criterion that we set. So we will, when we design our first year courses, we will be reasonable and we will not expect much more from this. So in terms of that, I think you don't really have to worry. Our first year courses are designed to be starting from ground up. So even for if you're from the poly, or if you maybe are not really a math student or a bio student, for instance, the courses will be designed so that you will be able to catch up. And the advantage that A level student who have taken H2 math or even H3, actually this advantage will rapidly disappear after your first or even your first 2 semesters. When you start on your second year, I guess, onwards, the courses will actually build up from what you have taken in the first year. So your first year courses will contain quite a bit of repeat from H2 math. So this is to help people to bridge if they don't have this knowledge. But once you're past your first year, so maybe the hardest is maybe your first year. Once you're past that, there's no much difference. So challenge, I would say, depends on individual, maybe, but past your first year, I think there's not really that much of a difference. So
I just add on. I think the key to doing well is actually to work consistently, because unlike A levels, I presume this is referring to a A-level student, biological science student from A-levels. So unlike A-levels where you have, after all the courses, all the material has been completed, you have 2 months to prepare for your real exam. In the university, you have 13 weeks of instructions, 13 weeks of lectures, and then you have 1 week to prepare your exams. And you are looking at 4 to 6 exams depending on how many courses you are taking. So you have to work consistently. You cannot leave it to the last minute and think that you can play every day, and skip lectures, and then you think that you have 1 week to catch up. It's impossible to catch up.
Thank you, Prof. So I just want to say that the math degree is a kind of like, if you have a really good really interest, and if you are really determined to do math, like where's the motivation from doing math? It doesn't matter what student you are. I have a friend like in arts who's doing math right now, and he loves it because he likes the theory and everything. So it doesn't matter where you come from, as long as the interest and the passion lies, then you'll do well, I believe. And finally, I think we have time for one last question. Will there be any bridging modules available for students who took only H1 math in JC?
So we don't have any bridging modules specifically for math students entering math. But again, I think again this question is related to these previous concerns of students who are worried maybe that they don't have that they don't start on an equal footing with students who have H2 math. So don't worry. As long as you meet all the criterion, pass the selection test for poly students and so on and so forth, you should have enough sufficient preparation to begin our first year courses. And again, I stress that the first year courses will be designed so that there is ample opportunities for everyone to catch up at the end of year 1. So like what Prof. Chan has said, again, the most important thing is consistent work, and I think the willingness, I think, to learn. So for example, if you know that if you only have H1 math and you need to work harder, then you need to strive for it. But we will help you. There are many avenues of help. If you find yourself struggling with coursework, especially in the first year, we have a very good pastoral care system. We have these tutors, math learning centers, and so on and so forth. It's like free tuition for you to catch up. So yeah, if you want to know more about this, you can definitely ask me. But yeah, don't worry.
So I just add on. So I think we actually need at least a H2 pass to be eligible to apply to our program.
Okay, so we have one last question. How is the new ICC affecting the math curriculum?
Okay, so I guess I'll answer this. The new ICC thing. Okay, so I'm not sure if some of you, so there NTU has this new initiative whereby we have this ICC curriculum. Now the ICC curriculum basically has got several it will affect us in several ways. So the first effect is that under the new ICC framework, all of our courses or of our programs will need to have a compulsory internship. So everyone who is enrolled in NTU course, except for I think medicine or medical school or something, but most courses will now you have to do an internship. Now for SPMS, especially in math, you can choose either to do a short internship over the holidays of 10 weeks or a semester-long internship of 20 weeks. Okay, but this is of course down the future, but you have to do one of these. So that's the first effect that it will have. The second thing is also that this new ICC thing will also consist of a basket of 7 courses that you have to take. So these are all enrichment, broadening, courses that you have to take. So this will consist of courses such as very basic digital course, an ethic course, mental well-being, all these kinds of things. But we have fitted in our program so that this will have minimal disruption to our major timetable. So yes, you have to take more courses from the ICC basket, but we have designed this timetable so that it will still fit everything. So for those of you, I understand also if you are looking at NUS courses, NUS also has this new College of Humanities and Science, and there they also have something similar to the ICC, whereby in the first year you actually also have to do a lot of these courses. So it's the same thing in NUS as well.
Okay, thank you, professors, for answering all these questions. Unfortunately, our time is up, and I just want to say thank you, professors, for being here, and it was truly an insightful sharing. And we've come to the end of the math segment. If you're interested, join us for our tours around SPMS. Remember that you can sign up at our SPMS open house microsite, and it's a first come first serve basis, so you guys gotta hurry up. And also, feel free to ask more questions on our Telegram channel at NTU Maths again, because our friendly ambassadors will be answering your questions. And lastly, if you're interested to join the Division of Physics and Applied Physics, you can stick around at 3 p.m. for their segment. So lastly, to end off, my name is Ian. Thank you once again for joining us, and we hope to see you in school.